Today in the greenhouse, we did a bunch of seeding of different settings of stuff, and today what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna trim the onions. We're gonna give the onions a haircut. Sounds funny, but I'm not joking around. We're gonna give the onions a legit haircut today. And what that entails, we're gonna do the leeks too. But what that entails is we're literally gonna cut like 4 or 5 inches off these guys. And we'll be able to see it easier with these guys. Is we're literally just gonna chop, like, can't do it. Probably gonna chop at least that much off these guys, if not more. Tastes onion. Wow, that actually tastes really good. There's a couple reasons we do this. One reason, and the most important reason, is that onions don't have a good root structure in itself. They've got really small, more like string-like roots. They're really shallow. They don't dig far into the soil. And with that, they obviously need better irrigation needs and fertilizer, more centralized towards the plant versus, I don't know, a sweet corn crop that roots can penetrate feet into the ground. But what we'll do is, by chopping off some of the top foliage of these plants, this will help actually push more root development down into the plant. It's just how they work. And so what that will do is it'll create more of a root ball in the cell. So when we go to transplant, these plants will have more roots on them. We want this cell to be pretty much fully encompassed in roots as much as we can. And even so, even as much as we can do that, we're still not going to get a good root ball in a cell in general. It's just not, it's not a thing with leeks and onions. The roots just don't really cling on to the soil that well. It's just the nature of them. But the more root we can produce in that cell before they get into the field, the better chance they have of grabbing that soil and taking off and doing their thing once they've exited the greenhouse. Timing on this, I don't have an exact time on it. I think you want to do them like, I don't know, I want to say 2 to 4 weeks before they go out into the field. 1, to generate that root growth, and 2, let the plants kind of bounce back from literally chopping their heads off. Unlike let's say a pepper or a tomato or a brassica, these will keep regrowing and regrowing and regrowing no matter how much you chop the tops off of them. Unlike those other crops, if you chop the top off them, you're killing their central root growth to be able to grow and develop, and they'll stop their growth. These will keep growing. The number 2 reason we do this, and this is, I guess it can apply for most, they talk more about leeks with this, but what we do is when we trim these down a little bit, it's actually helping with wind breakage in the field as well. So we could be dealing with high winds when these crops go in the ground. They're obviously in a nice protected area, and cutting them down a little bit so they're maybe like 6 to 8 inches instead of some of these are probably close to a foot. That helps generate less wind damage or damage to the crop itself. They can tolerate the outdoor temperatures better, or outdoor conditions, I should say. So let's give these puppies a haircut. Disclaimer, each haircut per cell is at least 5 cents. I told them ahead of time. I don't know if they heard it yet, but they better tip it good too.